So what do I got here today? The Logitech Ultimate Ears.
Megablast.
Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name's Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest. It hurts. A little combo action. So the folks at Logitech sent me this over to check out. They saw my HomePod video. They wanted to see how their product fared in the Painfully Honest arena. If this is your first time here, thanks for showing up. If you want to come back again and you like this video and all that kind of stuff, subscribe. Yeah. This is the packaging. As you can see, it has Amazon Alexa. What can Alexa do? You can say play road trip playlist. Alexa, play road trip playlist. It can do shopping. It can do music. It can do all the things that Alexa can do, with one huge caveat. If you want to listen to music and control the music with the Megablast itself, you have to have Amazon Music. You can also have TuneIn Radio and iHeartRadio, but does anyone listen to that? I don't. You tell me. So if you want to use Spotify, if you want to use Apple Music, if you want to use Tidal or any of those other things, you cannot control it with Alexa. You still can use it. It works like a Bluetooth speaker. Alexa hooks up to your Wi-Fi system, and she then will do all the things that Alexa does, but she will not start, stop, skip, volume up, volume down. Maybe she'll do the volume up, volume down thing. I think she will. Yeah, I tried it last night. She does. But she doesn't do the play thing. So what are our features here? We've got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It's waterproof, IP67 rated waterproofness, 360-degree music. 360-degree music. What does that mean? Well, the thing is a cylinder, and it does a good job of like filling a room in this sort of 360-like pattern, hence the 360. See, look, there's pictures of people having fun here in the water with the Megablast, and you can. So IP67 means you can have it submerged under 1 meter of water for 30 minutes. I don't think you can hear it underwater, but I haven't tried it. I'm not a water person. So this is the box that it came in. This is the Megablast itself. It is hefty. It is it's kind of like, you know, those Poppin' Fresh canisters that you get with biscuits in it. It's like a giant one of those. It's about 1 foot tall, I would guess. I think my head's 1 foot tall. Why wouldn't it be? So it's about 1 foot tall. It's got, for our Christian friends out there, both my wife and my daughter were like, why does it have a Christian symbol on it? And I had to explain that these are volume buttons, and they're just under there. It has a power button here. When it's charging, it makes that sound when it turns on. And then it makes that sound when it turns off. Here's your Bluetooth pair button, so you can pair with any Bluetooth device that you desire. Underneath here, if you have the regular blast, you pry this up, and you see you got this USB port down there, right? But there's an accessory that you can get that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Ultimate Ears down here. This is all rubber. This is, if you thought the HomePod was a little delicate in the skin department, this screen, it's just not. Does that bother anybody? JTL ASMR. How do you like it? Anyway, it's a nice speaker from a build quality standpoint. What I like about it, what I've been doing with it is carrying it around the house with me. carrying it to work, using it there. So if I'm listening to a podcast and I want to do some work down in the studio here, I can listen to the podcast while working, doing whatever I am doing. And that's all good. That's all good. One big problem with the play pause situation on this is that if you can't tell Alexa to play and pause, there are no play and pause controls here that I know of. And I've been using this for a week or two. So you have to go to your mobile device and pause or play there. So that's a drag. It might have been nice since it's so limited in what apps it controls that that Ultimate Ears / Logitech could have given us some controls over that stuff. But they didn't. I don't like that. 16 hours of playtime. Now, I have not had any call to listen to this thing for 16 hours, but what I've read on the internets and through word of mouth is that you get 16 hours at 50%, and you get about 13 hours blasting with the Megablast. What I like about this, it's not as like shiny and sort of Art Deco-y or mid-century modern-y as the HomePod, but it looks pretty okay, except for this. But I might have preferred this be like a lighter gray or something like that. Lighter gray maybe, but maybe turn this way so people don't get confused. Some people might think it's like a giant votive candle. I've seen videos of people going in and like throwing this in mud and all kinds of other stuff. This rubber does pick up dust and other stuff. It's a very rubbery rubber, and it does pick up dust and such things. So I did not want to throw it in the in the mud. I didn't want to do anything with it outside. It's a nice little speaker. But it is built rugged. Like it has this carabiner clip on here that you can attach to something that takes like a carabiner, I guess, and then you can haul it around with you in the woods or up a mountain, I guess. This particular carabiner clip thingy is different than what comes stock on it. This guy is for the fancy contact charging base. Now, this guy's $300, and we'll talk a little bit later about whether or not it's worth $300 and why it might be or why it might not be. But for an extra $40, you can get this, the Ultimate Ears Power Up. So it's a charging dock, and when this thing is sitting on the charging dock, it will stay on as long as you want it to stay on. It'll stay on for 15 minutes when it's not on the charging dock. It also comes with an app that you can control through Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. I'll put a screenshot, or maybe I won't. I don't know. It's an app. You can download it and hook it up to your thing. So, right? But this charging guy comes with it. You have to use the charge cable that is in the box with the Megablast. And then it's a nice block, very solid, and very nice USB, mini USB cable here. It is made specifically so if you want to use this dock, only this guy is going to fit in there. It's like that, you see, just like that. So maybe that's a downside, maybe it's not. This is a very nice flat cable. I'm a big fan of this cable. I like it a lot. So when you want to use the charging dock, you just go like this, and it sits there. So you can just sit it right there, and it will stay right there, and it has a little flashing thing to show you that it's on and working and all that. I don't know if I would enjoy this as much if I had to charge it under here. I don't think I would. One thing I like to do is listen to, well, right now I'm listening to Box Fan and Dehumidifier while I sleep. And this thing just sits on the charging dock and plays box fan and dehumidifier so that I have some white noise to sleep to, and it's a restful night. If you didn't have the charging block, you can't really set it up, and it'd be like you'd have to lay it on its side or something. I don't know. The charging dock, even though it is $40, it's well made, and I think you get more out of the whole thing when you use the charging dock. So, how does it sound? I guess everybody's going to want to know, how does it compare to the HomePods? And that's a good question. I like that question. It's a good question. Thanks for asking. When you're talking about a $300 speaker, and then you're talking about a $40 bass, really, I mean, you're in HomePod territory, and so most people are going to want to know, like, oh, but is it worth the same amount as the HomePod? I don't think the HomePod is worth what they're charging, so is this thing worth more than the HomePod then? Because I wouldn't pay more than $250 for the HomePod. Most of that's because it's a smart speaker that's pretty darn dumb. This is a smart speaker that has one giant hole in what it can do. If you don't use the apps that they say you can use, then you can't tell it to play or pause, but it has Alexa built in. It'll do all the other stuff that Alexa does. Like, I had an Echo Dot in my room that I used for the stereo speaker thing, and I just unplugged the Dot because this guy does all my Alexa. And really, all I ever do with Alexa is to ask her what time it is, ask her what the weather is like, and all those kinds of things. So, I don't know. I don't really do much with Alexa. I don't shop with Alexa. But Alexa is Alexa and Google Assistant are probably the two most feature-rich voice assistants that you can get. So having Alexa built into this is a nice plus. Hopefully there'll be some, how shall we say, expanded support for other apps, because who listens to Amazon Music? I don't. I tried it. Didn't resonate with me. So, is it worth nearly $350? The sound is really good. Okay, so it doesn't have the same kind of experience that you get from the HomePod. The HomePod actually was very impressive in how it sounded, and it uses that DSP, that digital signal processing with the A8 chip, to really tune to the room. And this doesn't do that. It's sort of a dumb speaker in that way, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I found it to be really balanced. The mids were maybe a little forward, which I like because that pushes the vocals forward. The highs were not shrill. The bass was not too boomy. The bass could be a little indistinct at times, but I found myself really enjoying listening to music on this thing. It's just really a good, solid speaker. You'll have to ask yourself if you want to pay $300 for it. I don't know that I would if Logitech hadn't sent it over to me, because this is not necessarily my optimum way to listen to music, but I will say that since I've gotten it, I have taken it all over the place in the house and just had music with me all the time. Had my podcast that I can carry around. I mean, it's heavy, it's big, but it works really great for that. So I could see how somebody who wants to take it out into the beach or something, I guess, you're not going to get it messed up. It's totally like water resistant and can be put in mud. So that's not going to be a problem. And it sounds pretty good. I haven't had much experience with Logitech's other lines of speakers. They now have this is the Megablast. This is the top of the line. They have a Blast, and then last year they had a UE Boom and a UE Mega Boom. Logitech, please. Ultimate Ears Megablast sounds like a really terrible energy drink. So maybe rethink your naming conventions for the future, because it's not very elegant. Maybe you're not going for elegant. I don't know. Maybe I'm not at any rate, Logitech Ultimate Ears Megablast. $300, around $350 if you get the bass. if you want one speaker that you're going to take around with you everywhere that sounds good, then this is it. You can't take the HomePod with you anywhere. The HomePod sits and makes marks on your countertop or your dresser or your bookshelf or whatever. This guy can go with you wherever she wants to go, and that's pretty cool, because I've used the portable Bluetooth speakers that I've used in the past have generally sounded at best okay. This sounds really good. Would it replace my regular stereo system? Well, actually, it has replaced my regular stereo system in my bedroom, and I've been totally satisfied with that. I take it into the bathroom, man, it's just like boom. It's a good product. It's a good product. The price is a little steep. The Alexa not being able to control more than Amazon, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio is not very good, but I'm hoping for a firmware update somewhere in the future. Tell me what you guys think. You got experience with these Logitech Ultimate Ears speakers? Tell me down in the comments. I really appreciate you being here. Again, if you like this rambling video of me talking about a speaker, then maybe you'll think about subscribing and coming back to visit me again sometime soon. But that's all I got for you right now. My name's Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.